Hey guys, welcome back to another realistic rebuild. This time we're going to be taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And as you can see, we do have Antonio Brown. I did trade for him because, he said he wanted to go to the 49ers, so I kind of wanted to stick with that, see what they could maybe do with AB. That connection with Garoppolo and AB might be something really good. It sounds like a really good duo. I mean, Garoppolo's decent. He's got star development. AB doesn't regress much in Madden, and usually actually is here for at least 5 years, so we should be decent there. We're going to have Marquise Goodwin. We're going to have Dante Pettis. So our receiving core as a whole is probably set, to be honest, because we also have George Kittle, who has really emerged as a nice tight end. I mean, he's at 91 overall. He's really good. He's got star development. He's a young stud here. He's got great speed. He's really everything you'd want at a tight end. We obviously have Garoppolo. We have Breida, who's actually showed himself to be a nice running back here. He's got an 84 overall, a decent rating. He's decently young as well. He's 23. Quick development. He should be on the team long term. Mike McGlinchey is an 83 overall and a star development. Offensive line as a whole, though, is a bit beat up inside. Joe Stolley, he retires probably the season after. So I'm going to throw him on the trade block. He retires. So I decided why not try to get something out of him. So I did throw him on the trade block. Defensively, looking at our team as well, we have a pretty decent team. I did move Eric Armstead here to defensive tackle. Him and Buckner could be pretty good together there. We obviously have Solomon Thomas. Hopefully he develops. Then I'd like to get a nice left end to add. That's a good speed rusher. That would be pretty clutch. Richard Sherman's a 93 overall. He actually doesn't regress much either. So I might try to keep him on the team long term. Other than that, cornerbacks probably need to get another corner to go along with Sherman. Safeties aren't the best either. Definitely going to need to upgrade here. Colbert I do want starting, though. How old is he? 24 with quick development. We'll see if he gets into anything. Jaquiski Tart is 26, and he's at 83 overall. Might keep him. Linebacking core was really good until they traded away Reuben Foster. Now, it kind of needs rebuilt. I do like Fred Warner, but the outside, well, I guess, we do have Fred Warner. He's actually pretty decent. He's a rookie. So, yeah, probably actually the same idea here. Just going to rebuild the outside linebackers. And that's pretty much it here. That's what I'm thinking of the team. Yeah, so I will be back if I do get a trade offer here for Joe Stolley. We'll see what happens there. But that's going to be what the team is looking like here, starting off the rebuild. Let's go ahead and hop into midseason if we don't get any trade offers here. So we are getting a few trade offers here for him. I did want to let you guys know, I actually forgot to say, I did end up trading a first-round pick away for Antonio Brown. The Steelers didn't just accept a first-round pick, but I went in and gave him a first-round pick to make it realistic. But, yeah, so we did give up our first, which I think is a realistic, offer for Antonio Brown. He's so talented. We had to give up a first for him to make it realistic. Other than that, let's go ahead and see what the trade offers here are going to be for Joe Stolley. To be honest, I wouldn't mind, if we... Well, actually, there's no reason in tanking because we gave away our first-round pick. So, yeah. I was going to say we should probably tank, but we don't have a first-round pick. So that's not the best decision. You know what? I would say Buffalo here is the best offer. But when he's so old, I wouldn't say that second-round pick is fair. So I'm actually going to accept a third-round pick from Cleveland. That sounds realistic. Maybe a third-round pick. Might get a year or two out of him. So we give him up here for a third-round pick. Back here at midseason, we're 2-6. That's not really a surprise, to be honest, because I know we did give up our left tackle, which is going to leave Jimmy Garoppolo in a real tough spot here. I mean, we already have a shaky offensive line at best. I mean, we do have a young star here in McGlinchey, but we're kind of leaving Garoppolo out to dry, if we're being honest. But we're 2-6. Doesn't really matter, how bad we finish because we don't have a first-round pick. So that's going to be helping out Pittsburgh, not us. Players are going to have to resign, though. Let's go ahead and take a look here. There's not a whole lot of people I'm going to bring back, to be honest with you. I mean, when you look at the players that want to resign, I'm probably actually not going to bring anybody back. Yeah, we're literally going to let everybody go. I think I'm going to resign Bradley Pinion. Let's go ahead and get that done now. Go ahead and put him on a 5-year contract. Keep him here the whole rebuild. Having a good punter always helps out. I mean, I don't think it can hurt you. So for a low cost, get yourself a good punter. It might work out. So let's go ahead and go to the end of the season, see what our record's looking like, and how we did. So we don't make the playoffs. Again, I'm not surprised about that. We finish 8-8, so Pittsburgh's not going to have a great pick. They're probably going to be, I'd say, top 15, so probably between 10 and 15, to be honest. So I would say it's a better trade on our part, to be honest. I mean, we get AB. But, yeah, I'm going to stick with the thing I did last rebuild, where I do pick one offensive and one defensive player to upgrade manually. So I can go into an archetyped, and then I will just let the auto upgrades work after that. I'm going to try to get Garoppolo scheme fit. I know you might be saying, why does Garoppolo have Scrambler scheme fit? It is because I changed our scheme to a spread, because that really worked out for me last time. I got a lot more realistic stats for both passing and running. So I'm going to stick with that until I decide otherwise, you know, because it was a lot more fun last rebuild. It was way more realistic. Defensively, who do we want to upgrade here? Probably, oh wow, Fred Warner has 6 upgrade points. Jesus. Bro. That's pretty nasty. Dude, who do I want to upgrade? Solomon Thomas is a speed rusher scheme fit. I mean, that'll probably upgrade by itself, to be honest. So I kind of want to upgrade Buckner, try to make him OP here. Get his speed rusher ability is nasty already. So I am going to go into that run stopper, try to get him scheme fit. Because if he can get scheme fit, we're going to be looking pretty nice. For whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, just I do think scheme fit does help you win more games for sure. I've seen it a lot in my rebuilds. When I have more of a scheme fit team, they do play better, so that's going to be something we want to get there. Fortunately, a lot of our young players do have scheme fit already, so that's going to help us out. Oh, yeah, we finished 8-8, which isn't... I mean, yeah, I would say we got the better end of that trade. Going and check out the stats here. Garoppolo has an okay year, 4,200 yards, 25 touchdowns to 16 picks. A bit high on the interception mark, but we left him out to dry, trading our left tackle there. So definitely, I was sacked 44 times. That's a decent amount. Running the ball here, Matt Breida had 267 attempts, about 1,000 yards, 3.7 average, 10 touchdowns, and 2 fumbles. Pretty decent season by him. Receiving the ball, Antonio Brown comes in with 90 receptions, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. Marquise Goodwin putting up a decent number, 70 receptions, 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. George Kittle had a decent amount of receptions, about 700 yards, only 1 touchdown though. But Dante Pettis did work from this lot. 47 receptions, 800 yards, and 6 touchdowns is impressive. Blocking, I know we did horrible here. It's 19 sacks by our left tackle is a lot. Somehow Mike McGlinchey allows 11. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. But still, left tackle was not good. 131 tackles by Fred Warner. And he had 3 picks. 95 by Quan Williams, 90 by Sherman. Sacks we get 8 by DeForest Buckner, 6 by Marsh, 5.5 by Armstead. Solomon Thomas only coming with 2.5. DeForest Buckner, though, doing work from the defensive tackle spot. Interceptions, Fred Warner leads the team in INTs. Quan Williams with 2, Colbert with 2. Wow, Sherman only coming in with 1 interception here. So that's what it's looking like here for our team. Decent season, I would say, on both sides of the ball. We get 10th in offensive yards, and well, we're 29th in defensive. So I guess need to work on that a decent amount. But let's go ahead and hop into free agency here and see who's going to be available for us. In free agency here, we don't have nearly as much cap as we're used to having with the 49ers. I believe this is my 2nd time rebuilding, or maybe actually 3rd. But yeah, that's because we did pick up that hefty Antonio Brown contract. But I still am going to put a few offers out. I'm going to offer Darrell Williams a contract. I know we signed him last rebuild, but it's kind of too good to pass up on. We need a left tackle real bad. So if we're able to land Darrell Williams here, I would definitely bounce him over there. I'm actually going to increase this offer a little bit because I really want to land him. That would take so much pressure off Garoppolo. If we can just get him a decent tackle here, that should be around the whole rebuild. Then Trevor Williams, going to offer him a contract. Actually, Richard Sherman is upgrading as well. So Trevor Williams could very much be Richard Sherman's 2nd cornerback. Get a nice duo there. Trevor Williams should still be upgrading as well. And then I'm going to offer Denzel Perryman a contract. Definitely not going to start him at middle linebacker if I land him. I would bounce him over to an outside linebacker, fill one of the holes that we have there. So let's go ahead and see if we can land any of these real good free agents. I mean, this is a pretty good one. We'd be able to address offensive line. They all three accept it. So that's really going to help us out. We get 3 players that are going to be with us long term, most likely, and should add a lot to the team here. In the draft here, and remember, we don't have a first-round pick. We did trade that away for Antonio Brown. So we do have a second-round pick here, though. We picked 17th overall, so that means Pittsburgh got a 17th overall first-round pick, which isn't bad for AB. That's a trade I'll take every time. I think the center, though, Eric McCoy, is going to be too good to pass up. He's first in bench. He's a scheme fit. And Richburg is definitely not going to be the answer at center. So we're going to draft this guy, star development, and that's huge right there. We get a center that's going to immediately make a monster impact on the team. That's a great draft. I feel like we need to take a linebacker here. To get our linebacking core would be pretty much complete if we take one. We need to get a good outside linebacker, though. Probably a run stopper. And, I mean, this guy's combine is just way better than anybody else's. Tavone Coney. He ran a 4.67, 31 reps. Real good 20-yard shuttle. Then he had a decent broad jump, so we're going to take him. 77 overall with normal development. He's going to be way more of a run stopper, which we need. So I like that draft. I probably want to take a guard, though, to go along to just really try to secure my O-line. Is there any good centers left? Because I would bounce a center over to guard. It is an agile. This might be a bit of a reach picking in the 3rd round. But it's a little tough to pass on. I don't know which guy to take, though. Do I want to take Connor McGovern or Sam Mustafir? Pass block. I mean, impact block is really important. I think I'm going to go with Connor here. We're going to take him. A 73 overall isn't bad. But to be honest, he has really good stats. As a rookie who's only a 73 overall, I think he has such a low rating because of his awareness. Because other than that, he's pretty solid. I mean, he's not the most strong guard, but he's got decent stats other than that. So with the last pick that I show you guys, let's make it a good one. Unless I do find a gym after this, but we'll see. Another offensive lineman would be greatly helpful if we're able to get a good one, but there's just not many left, and I don't think I want to spend all my draft picks on offensive linemen. Don't really need a linebacker, to be honest. I wouldn't mind a corner if there's any decent ones available. There's kind of just crap corners available, man. Levante Taylor is not bad. It's a decent option. I know his combine is pretty bad, but we got Richard Sherman on the team, so he didn't have the best combine. We'll take a chance. Levante Taylor, decent. 74 overall corner. Isn't bad. 86 speed. Not great tackling, but he's got real good zone coverage. Well, decent as a rookie, 84. He's 5'10", 21. He might be able to fit in. We'll see what we can do with him. Might put him just alongside Richard Sherman just to see if he can maybe upgrade. So he's probably going to get a starting role this year coming up. So back here a year 2, taking a look at our team, we're looking pretty nice. I mean, we've improved greatly in just one offseason. We still have Garoppolo. He's up to an 83 overall. Still should be upgrading for a little bit for us. Matt Breida is going to be our main running back. Jerick McKinnon is going to be our backup, so he should get some decent carries. I expect him to have a decent year. This duo right here, it should be money. Then Antonio Brown still at 98 overall, only regressing 1 point. Marquise Goodwin is a player I'm not sure about. I like him, but he's 28, and that's, I don't know, he's no AB, so, I mean, AB might not be regressing, but I can assure you, this year Marquise Goodwin's got to regress decently. And Dante Pettis might have to step up to that number 2 role. So we can always go out and get another receiver here if Marquise Goodwin does go down too fast. But that's something to watch out for. Tight end is still really good with Kittle. Offensive line is greatly improved. We add Darrell Williams as a left tackle. We still have McGlinchey. And then our interior offensive line is really improved. With McGovern starting at a 74 overall. He should upgrade well. And then McCoy, our really good center. He's got to beat out Richburg for sure. I mean, Richburg is 28, and he just has such a big contract. I threw him on the trade block. Nobody's offering anything, so we're just going to have to wait that contract out, most likely. which is going to hurt a little bit. That's going to be a decent cap hit, but it's fine. Defense is still pretty nice with Richard Sherman now. We got Trevor Williams to give Richard Sherman somebody on the other side of him that can be good. And then we're going to start the rookie Taylor here as our slot guy. Defensive line is pretty nice with DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, and Solomon Thomas. So all we really need is a left end. I didn't address that this offseason, but hopefully this upcoming one I can. Safeties, Tart is pretty good, but he's 27. So we'll have to see how that plays out, how bad he's going to start regressing. And then Colbert's 77 overall. He is 25. So we'll see if maybe, I mean, the only thing I'd replace him probably is if someone's available in free agency, but he doesn't have great zone coverage or tackling or man coverage, which makes me think I am going to have to replace him because that's not good at all. Linebacking core I thought was going to be a problem after losing Reuben Foster, but it's proving we actually have a decent one. Fred Warner, after getting like 6 upgrade points, is up to an 82 overall. Denzel Perryman is going to fill an outside linebacker role nice. And then Coney, our draft pick, should be a great fit there. So I'm really liking what our team's looking like here. Let's go ahead and set our season goal. I think we can get like 10 wins. We're pretty good right now. We're definitely an emerging team. If we get a few upgrade points for some key players, we're going to be in a good spot. But let's go ahead and get to mid-season and see what we're looking like. All right, we're going to be 5-2. A nice a nice 5-2 record. Never hurt nobody, bro. All right? I'm really liking that. 5-2. Can tell we're greatly improved after finishing 8-8, and we're already got 5 wins on the year. So hopefully that hot streak continues for us. Let's go ahead and check out, actually, what are we in the division? We're second. The Rams, of course, they're 7-1. Players are going to have to resign. I did see DeForest Buckner there. He's going to want a monster contract. Going to have to resign DeForest Buckner. Matt Breida, he's coming back. Eric Armstead, he's coming back. I'll let go of Ronald Blair. Cassius Marsh can go. That's a tough one. That's a decent receiver. A 77 overall. 24. But he is only got normal development, so that's not a huge loss. So it's looking like everybody out of here. I'm only going to bring back these first 3 players with Buckner, Breida, and Armstead. But they're all going to want decent-sized contracts, especially Buckner. So that's going to take up a decent amount of cap, but it's worth it. Back here at the end of the season, we end up making the playoffs, which is going to really be good for us. Making the playoffs in the second year is going to be a pretty decent thing there because that means our team was greatly improved from the first year, finishing 8-8, which I do like to see. And we were able to improve quite a lot just from really one offseason. Actually, let's go ahead and pick the one upgrade and one defensive player we upgrade here. Who do we want to upgrade in offense? Wow, our center has 5 upgrade points? Jesus, dude. I think I'm going to go into McGlinchey, though, because I do want to get him... Actually, do I want to get him scheme fit? I don't think he is going to get scheme fit, to be honest. Because that's like 5 points away. So I am just going to go into his strength and power. And he's not a scheme fit, but he's going to be around that 90 overall range, which when you're an offensive lineman, that's near elite status. It's really tough to get tackles up there to almost a 90 overall. So I'm pretty impressed there. Defensively, who do we want to upgrade? DeForest Buckner coming with a couple points. Crap, who do we want to go into? Let's go ahead and go into DeForest Buckner. I feel like if we can get a real nasty defensive lineman up there in pass rush and such, we're going to be in a pretty decent spot. Gets a strength upgrade. Like DeForest Buckner needs strength. Dude, he's going to be so OP. I really want to go into pass rusher, but I don't want to lose scheme fit. We're going to do it. I risked it there, and it does pay off. We are able to get a couple power moves. And let's go ahead and take a look what he is looking like right now. Dude, come on. 92 overall. Great finesse move. Great strength. Decent speed for a D tackle. That's really what you want to see there. Let's go ahead and check out the stats. The Rams finished 12-4, and of course they're above us. We finished 8th in offensive yards, and we finished 7th in defensive. Garoppolo had a real good season. 4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks, 66% completion rates. Rushing the ball, Breida has an 1,100-yard campaign, 3.9 average, 7 touchdowns. That fumbles is a little worrying. McKinnon does decent from his role. Receiving the ball, Antonio Brown, 88 receptions, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Trading for Antonio Brown, I know he's going to get his balls. So, yeah, as long as we're getting him the main receptions here on the team. I'm feeling pretty decent about that. George Kittle has a great bounce back year, 80 receptions, 800 yards, and he really answered our request. I wanted him to get more touchdowns. He got 7 more. I'll take that. Then Marquise Goodwin, 73 receptions, 750 yards, 5 touchdowns. Dante Pettit. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's really spreading the ball around quite good. I mean, when you look at all the guys that have touchdowns here, it's really split up. That was pretty impressive there. Let's go and see how our O-line did. Left tackle allows 11 sacks, but I expect him to get a little bit better as well. So, other than that, I really like the way our offensive line's shaping to be. Tackles, we get 117 by Warner, 113 by the free agent acquisition, Denzel Perryman, 78 by Sherman. Sacks, we get 8 by Buckner, 6.5 by Marsh, 5 by Armstead, 5 by Solomon Thomas. I'll take that. Interceptions, we get 3 by Warner, another 3-pick campaign by Warner, and only 1 by the corners. So Fred Warner really making up for our lack of production there. And Fred Warner looks to be a superstar emerging here for this team. That's going to be it here, though, for the stats. Let's go ahead and see who we're going to be playing. Yeah, we're going to be playing Green Bay here in the playoffs, which is going to be tough. So I'm just going to hit this auto upgrade here on the rest of our team. And we'll go ahead and jump into this playoff game. So we're in the playoffs here going against Green Bay. It's pretty surprising that we actually made the playoffs already. But we'll see what we can do. We finished 10-6, which isn't a bad record at all. I'm not going to jump in on... Really, they went for a 3-yard field goal? Out at the 43. That would have been a hell of a long field goal, but we're driving down the field. We've held Aaron Rodgers scoreless. We get 3. We get a touchdown, and we missed the extra point, it looks like. Dude, we're kind of doing what we want here to the Green Bay. Green Bay does get a drive. They get 3 second quarter here. My defense is playing pretty decent, but you can't hold Aaron Rodgers down for long. And the Packers have the ball now. And I feel like they're going to score. We're going to be in a tough spot. Yeah, we score. They score as well, I believe, but we're only up by 5 now. We need some points. Team. Please, team. Make a stop. Come on. 2 minutes remaining. They take the lead. Can Jimmy G go down the field and get us some points? We'll see. He's got AB. He's got everybody he needs. He got a field goal. He can tie it here. Gosh, we're going to leave Aaron Rodgers some time, though. We really are. I mean, come on, bro. What can you do to stop that? That's a rough-in, but we're in field goal range. How do we get the field goal? No, dude. Garoppolo has a decent game. That's a tough way to go out. But I'm not too salty because we made the playoffs in year 2, and when has that ever happened? So I definitely feel like we're going to be one of the improving teams next year. We might even have a better record. I think next year is the year we're going to break out as real contenders here in the NFC. We might even give the Rams a run for their money for the division. But Aaron Rodgers plays decent. We have a better game than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he had to throw it 52 times, but what did our running attack do? 76 by Breida, and McKinnon doesn't get many opportunities, unfortunately. I do want to get McKinnon a little bit involved. I might move him to my 3rd down running back, but that's going to do it here for year 2. Let's go ahead and see who's going to be in free agency for us. Back here in free agency, man, it's going to be a little tough because some of our good players are starting to regress like I thought. Marquise Goodwin went down a bit, I think like 1, but he's going to regress before this rebuild's over, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that position. But right now, the only negotiation I'm going to offer, there's not a whole lot of superstars available, so I'm going to offer one to Randy Gregory. See if he can maybe do something at left end. I'm only offering him a 1-year contract. This is really just going to be a fill-in role unless I do find somebody in the draft here. But likely this is just going to be probably a 1-year option, see what he can do for us, and if he has a breakout year, we might re-sign him to a bigger deal, but we'll see if he even signs with us. The Saints did offer him a contract. He does accept with us, so I'm going to bounce him over to left end, and we'll see how he plays there. Now let's go ahead and hop into the draft. So we're back here in the draft. We picked 23rd overall, so I was going to go offensive line, but there was a receiver that I wanted, but they were taken as well. A free safety would help out. Colbert isn't the best free safety, even though he does have a decent rating. His tackling and zone coverage just aren't good. I mean, this Mason Jamison looks really nice. He has a 7.7 combine. You can see all of the combines he was great in. He almost ranked #1 in every combine. And he has decent skills, so we're going to go with him. He's an 80 overall, 5th in true talent. We drafted him at 23rd. So that's good right there. He's 5'10", 200 pounds. Decent size safety. He's got 90 speed. He's got decent tackling, real good man coverage. And he's definitely going to be the starter here for us at free safety. We might throw Colbert up on the trade block or maybe even see if we can get a trade going with him. So I am going to attempt a trade here. There is an offensive lineman that I do really want, and I'm sure he'll be taken by the time we pick in the 2nd round. So the Jaguars do need a Colbert, a free safety, and we do have one. We drafted a free safety that is going to replace this guy. So let's go ahead and throw something in here. I definitely feel like a 2nd round pick would make it realistic. If we give up a 2nd round pick plus a free safety that they do need, it's scheme fit for him. And he's a 79 overall, and he's not old. He's about 26. So I'd say this is worth it. We'll see what they think. They accept it, so we do end up getting the 1st round pick. And we give them a 2nd and Colbert, which I do think is a nice trade here. Let's go ahead and draft the guy that I want here. It's a left guard, but I am going to bounce him over to right most likely. Let's make sure he's still available here. Yeah, this Eric Rushing, he's got B+ impact block. And anytime you find an offensive lineman that has B+ impact block, that's one of the most important skills for an offensive lineman. And you can see he has a decent combine, so we're going to go with him. He's a 78 overall, 17th in true talent. And I'm okay with that trade that we just did. This is a decent offensive lineman. It's really going to help us out. And I'd say now our O-line's probably going to be secured for the rest of the rebuild. All right, so we're going to be back here where we pick in the 3rd round. Let me know if you guys want to see more trades like that, like in the draft, because I think it's better that way because we don't know if the player's going to be good or not. Like, we can trade for a player straight up and we'll see what their ratings are. But it kind of makes it a little more fun doing it like that. There was a prospect I had my eyes on. He was taken, though. Dang. He was a speed rusher. He looked real nice, but he's off the board. He was like a 5th round talent. Can't believe he's off the board already, man. Well, what do I want to do then? I'm not sure what position I want to go in. I think we're going to have to go in receiver because we're going to have to start addressing that because Marquise Goodwin isn't going to be great forever, I don't think. Ben Jenkins here, Banks Jenkins. He looks pretty good. He's a red zone threat. He ran a 4.50. I mean, I'm going to go with it. That's a decent combine. He's got decent skills. So we're going to roll with him. He's a 72 overall. Definitely a reach. I was hoping he might have something, but really not going to start at all. He's just not good. All right, so with the last pick that I show you guys here, I feel like we got to get somebody that can rush the passer. That's been a position of need now for these last 2 years. Is this guy a decent speed rusher? No, we probably want to go with an end, but I just don't know if there's any great speed rushers available left. I'm probably just going to take whoever has the better combine. B+ pursuit, hit power. Is this guy decent? He ran a decent 40. This guy ran a decent 40 as well. 21 on the bench. 20 on the bench. We're going to roll with this speed rusher. 6'2", 250. And he's a 73 overall. Not what I was hoping for. I mean, he's an okay guy, but he's probably not going to start here for us at all. But that's going to be it here for the draft. Back here at the start of Season 3, we're looking pretty decent. A few of our players are starting to regress, so that is a little worrying. Like AB's down to a 95 overall. That's 4 regression. And the Marquise Goodwin went down 1, but he lost a little catch in traffic. So I'm going to go for the worst case scenario here just in case. We're going to start Dante Pettis at number 2 because I want to get him a little bit more balls. He's also going to be my slot guy. I want to get him more involved. See if we can upgrade him a little bit. And then Marquise Goodwin can be there at 3. But he's 29. I don't expect him to be around for much longer. He probably actually has a contract this year or either next year. And then quarterback Garoppolo's an 84 overall. He's upgraded well. I mean, a couple points. Matt Breida is our main running back. I did put McKinnon as our 3rd down running back. So we can get him a couple more touches. George Kittle's definitely going to be our tight end. And he's almost, I mean, he's elite right now. So 94 overall. That's insane. I wouldn't be surprised if he's at 99 overall before the end of the rebuild. Offensive line, I expect to really be great. I mean, this is one of the better offensive lines we've had. And a lot of it came from the draft. As you can see interiorly, completely made up from the draft. And then Darrell Williams from free agency. So this is one of the better offensive lines I've built. Just within the first 2 years, it's really good. I expect it to do well this year. Defensively, we are starting to regress in some key areas as well. Like Richard Sherman's went down a little bit. But defensive line's looking pretty nice. We still do need to get an outside pass rusher. I know Solomon Thomas can do it, but he hasn't been very productive of late. So I'd love to get a nice left end. Randy Gregory's just going to be probably a 1-year fill-in unless he has a monster year. Defensive tackles I'm happy with. Buckner and Armstead there. Cornerbacks, we got Richard Sherman, an 89 overall. He's regressed a couple, but he's still decent, so he's going to be our starter. Trevor Williams, an 83. And we're going to start Levante Taylor here at slot. That free safety we drafted kind of made the whole draft worth it because it gives us an immediate upgrade. He's an 80 overall, and he has great skills, so I'm happy with that. Jaquisti Tartt is an 85 overall. About this time, he's 28. I'd say we have to keep him for the rebuild now. He's going to start regressing a little bit, but an 85 overall is tough to replace. And then our linebacking core led by Fred Warner is really good. We have a lot of speed here, and they're good tacklers. So I expect us to have a good season this year. For sure make the playoffs. If we made it last year, we definitely improved on the O-line a little bit. So we should make it this year without problem. Let's go ahead and hop into mid-season, though, and see what our team is looking like. Well, we're currently 3-5, which is a bit disappointing, and by a bit, I mean it's really bad. That's not good. I thought we'd be way better than that, but I guess not. Players we're going to have to negotiate with here. I've seen George Kittle. I wonder how big of a contract. Oh, he wants a big contract. He really does. Richard Sherman wants to come back. George Kittle, we got to bring him back. Richard Sherman, probably going to bring him back. Got to bring back Kyle Juszczyk. He's a really good fullback. Jaquiski Tartt. Dude, we got a lot of signings. Randy Gregory. Solomon Thomas, I mean, he's a no-brainer. He's got to come back for sure. Randy Gregory, again, we'll see what kind of season he has. So probably just going to bring back Kittle, Sherman, Juszczyk, Tartt, and Thomas. And then we'll see about the rest of them, but that's going to be the main 5 we're going to bring back. Wow, dude, I mean, that's all I can say. Just wow. How do we go from making the playoffs last year, finishing 10-6, we won 7-9. Man, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I don't understand why, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and upgrade our players here that we do have. One of them we upgrade on offense and one on defense. Let's go ahead and upgrade Dante Pettis. Let's go ahead and try to get him possession. It's always nice to upgrade the possession trait, get a little bit more catch in traffic, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, he's going to be up to an 85 overall, and he could take over for Goodwin. Let's go ahead and see what his ratings are. I mean, he's got decent speed. Goodwin only has a little bit of speed, and I'm expecting his speed to go down a little bit. So to be honest, Dante Pettis isn't much of a... I mean, he's an upgrade. He's not a downgrade. I'd say he's an upgrade. Defense... Wow, our center has 4 upgrade points again. Defensively, who do we want to upgrade here? Richard Sherman has an upgrade point. That's nice. Let's go ahead and upgrade... Man, Randy Gregory didn't get an upgrade point. Probably didn't have a great season. Let's go upgrade our free safety that we went out and got. Upgrade his zone coverage a little bit because that was one of his weaknesses. But he's going to be up to a decent overall here. He gets a good amount of play rec. And upgrades, he's up to an 81 overall now. Get some zone cov. And, I mean, that's a safety right there. He's already better than Colbert, I would say. I just don't know how he finished 7-9. What's our offensive... We're 14th in offensive yards. What were we in defensive? 16th. We're about middle of the league in both. Let's see what Garoppolo did. He had another decent season. 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, 10 picks, 64% completion rate. I'm telling you guys, this spread offense scheme is the most realistic just in terms of numbers. I mean, you get a lot of realistic numbers from that. Matt Breida, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's had 1,000 yards, I think, 2 straight years now, which is pretty good. Actually, what did McKinnon do? He had 91 carries, about 300, actually 400 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's decent. Receiving the ball, wow, Dante Pettis overthrows AB for receptions. 88 by him, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. AB still getting his touchdowns, though. 73 receptions, about 900 yards, 10 touchdowns. George Kittle, 68 receptions, about 700 yards, 3 touchdowns. Marquise Goodwin actually did decent as the third receiver. 60 receptions, 700 yards, and 5 touchdowns isn't bad. And then McKinnon had 4 touchdowns here as a running back. Blocking, how do we do here? Jesus. How? 16 sacks? And then 10 by William. Did I miss something? I thought we had a good offensive line. Okay, Madden, whatever you say there, man. Tackles, we get 120 by Warner, 118 by Perryman, 87 by Williams, and then 76 by Tarts. What do we get for sacks here? 8 by Buckner, 6 by Armstead, 4 by Gregory. I mean, what is Solomon Thomas's problem here? I'm almost thinking about bouncing Solomon Thomas over to left end. See if that does it for him, because I don't know. He's got decent finesse move. I guess his power move's a bit bad, but he's got traits. So I might bounce him over to left end, see what he does. Interceptions, though. Wow, Richard Sherman coming in with 5 INTs. Fred Warner with 2. Jaquiski Tart with 2. And then Coney with 1. So I guess, offensive line let us down in a big way. Other than that, I'm not sure what happened, but that's going to be it here for year 3. A bit disappointing after making the playoffs in year 2. But let's see if we can maybe find somebody in free agency that'll help us out here going into year 4. So we're going to be in free agency, and it's like running back city out here, dude. There's so many running backs available. Look at all these running backs. You have McCaffrey, Cohen, Lindsay, Connor, Chris Carson, James White. Good Lord, you could have your pick from backs. Other than that, though, I am only going to offer one negotiation. I was thinking about going after, let's see, where is he? Derek Barnett. I just don't think he's a fit for us. He doesn't have great finesse move. So I don't know. I think I'm going to take my chances there, save a little bit of money, and if it comes down to year 5, we can spend it. The player I'm going to go after is one, Zay Jones. I feel like if we're able to get Zay Jones, we'd have a great receiving core for at least the rest of the rebuild. Zay Jones would take my number 2 spot, so we'd have AB, Zay Jones. And then in the slot, I feel like Dante Pettis fits there the best, so I definitely would like to get him there. Other than that, there wasn't a whole bunch of people available. As you can see, a lot of tight ends and a lot of running backs. That's what this free agency was. It's kind of one of the weirder free agencies I've seen. Let's go ahead and see if Zay Jones wants to come to San Fran with Garoppolo. He accepts it, so our receiving core is pretty nasty. With Kittle, we got AB, Zay Jones, and Dante Pettis. We should be pretty good next year. Fingers crossed Madden doesn't screw me over here. Let's go ahead and hop into the draft, though. See if we can maybe get an end there. So taking a look at the draft recap, it definitely wasn't a draft if we needed pass rushers, and we needed pass rushers. We did draft Morris Pope. He's 76 overall, but I don't know. I don't know what to think, really. He doesn't have great strength. That's not going to be good. He has a decent amount of traits. 72 strength is definitely horrific, but his finesse move, we'll see what he can do. I'm not expecting much, but he's definitely going to have to start for left end for us. That's one of the positions that we just haven't been able to find throughout the whole rebuild. But we'll see if we can find him. Let's go ahead and see what we're looking like here in year 4. All right, back here at year 4. Definitely a disappointing season last year after not making the playoffs after we did the second year. But this is what our team is looking like. We still have Garoppolo. He's not really upgrading much anymore. Matt Breida's an 88 overall. We do have AB still sitting at a nice 96 overall, which is nice. Zay Jones, we picked him up. I definitely wanted to give Garoppolo the best receiving core I could. So he's going to be my number 2 receiver. Then Dante Pettis, I believe, fits best in the slot. His best years came from the slot. So I'm going to line him back up out there. Offensive line's really good. It's top tier. We got an 89 center who's a star. We got McGlinchey, 89 overall. Darrell Williams, 85 overall. Guards, not the best, but we do have an 80 overall guard. Really, the only weak spot on the line is McGovern. But he has decent stats, to be honest. We still have Kittle. I did resign the fullback, Kyle Juszczyk here. It's always nice to have a good fullback in here. Defensively, I thought this defensive line was just going to be straight nasty. But, don't get me wrong. DeForest Buckner is insane. But other than that, Solomon Thomas just has not impressed me at all. And then Armstead, he's played well for what we've asked him to do. Just mainly probably be a run stopper. Buckner is going to be more of the pass rusher on the tackle spot there. But, yeah, we've struggled to get pressure here from the ends. We just haven't. corners are pretty decent. We still have Sherman sitting at an 88 overall. Trevor Williams an 84 overall. And then Taylor, I believe he's in his 3rd year now, playing slots. Safeties are okay. I do like the pick of Jameson here. And then Tart is actually upgraded well. I'm glad we decided to keep him. He's up to an 86 overall, which is impressive. He didn't even want that big of a contract. And the linebackers are really speedy. Fred Warner, 91 overall. He's insane. Perryman, 83 overall. And then Coney is a speedy linebacker as well. So this 4th year, I mean, I'm going to be disappointed if our team doesn't make the playoffs. I really am. Because we have a pretty talented team right now. I'm going to go make the playoffs as our season goal. I think we should. But let's go ahead and get to the midseason mark and see who we're going to need to resign. Wow, we're 3-4, dude. That's not good at all. We are bottom of the division. Okay, dude. So that's not what I wanted. What is that crap? Oh, look at these resignings. AB wants to... Good Lord. That's a lot of money. Just right there, Dante Pettis, he wants a monster contract. You know, I think my best bet is the franchise tag. Pettis, maybe? I don't know. Antonio Brown. Actually, my best bet's probably to franchise tag AB. Wouldn't you say? Fred Warner. I definitely got to give him a contract. Mike Baglinski, he's coming back. Dante. So these 4 first players are coming back for sure. Probably going to let everybody else test here in the 4th year. Going to try to save as much money as possible because it looks like we're going to have to go get somebody in free agency. Well, we don't make the playoffs here. I don't know. I really don't know what's happening after we made the playoffs in year 2 and we've only gotten better. What? We finished 5-11? Dude, I don't know what to say about that, I guess. 5-11. I mean, I don't know about that, Madden, but we're going to have to upgrade some players here. Who do we want to upgrade? Zay Jones didn't get an upgrade points. Maybe he struggled a little bit. Let's go ahead and go with Dante Pettis because he's going to be probably one of the biggest parts of our success for this 5th and final year. If he does well, we should do pretty decent because our receivers are pretty nice. So if we have a good slot guy Jimmy Garoppolo feels comfortable going with, that's definitely good. What are his ratings? He's got really good everything. Decent speed, good catch in traffic, great release. I mean, yeah, that's really everything you'd want there. Our offensive line upgraded well. Our center's a monster. He's had like 4 or 5 upgrade points every year. This year he has 3. Defensively, that's got to be the problem. No upgrade points hardly at all. That's got to be the problem. Let's go ahead and go with DeForest Buckner, I guess. See if we can maybe get his pass rushing up a little bit. Let's go ahead and go into speed rusher for him. Just try to make him a nightmare to defend. That'll do it. +5 power move? Dude. Now, you cannot tell me he's not one of the best players in Madden with those stats right there. 97 overall. What's his rank? Wow, he's a 6th ranked defensive tackle? Who's better? Who in the hell is better than him? I mean, he doesn't have the highest strength, but I wouldn't say that's bad. 28th in offensive yards. 14th in defensive, so we struggled offensively. Garoppolo having a bit of a down year, and I'm not sure how. About 3,900 yards, 21 touchdowns, 9 picks, 61% completion rates. Definitely not sure how he had a bad year. Matt Breida, 250 attempts, about 900 yards, 9 touchdowns. Receiving the ball, George Kittle, 75 receptions, about 850, and 4 touchdowns. AB definitely taking a step back with 68 receptions, only about 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. Zay Jones, I mean, not doing much. He got 67 balls, but only about 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I did bring him in knowing he would be a red zone threat. And then Dante Pettis, 60 receptions, 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. Blocking? What did we do here? What happened? Somehow Darrell Williams allows 18 sacks? I don't know. I honestly, I'm not sure how. Defensively, Fred Warner leads the team in tackles by a decent amount, 141, 124 by Perryman, 86 by Tarts, and then 82 there by Sherman. What do we got for sacks? Probably not good. 7. Wow, Eric Armstead getting more sacks than Buckner. That's what I like to see. I mean, Eric Armstead, I guess, had a decent year. He had a decent amount of tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, 6.5 by Buckner, 6.5 by Solomon Thomas. I mean, I can take that. If he can get 6.5 consistently, I'd be happy. 11 tackles for loss. Denzel Perriman, 2 sacks. So it looks like our rookie didn't do anything, did he? He got 1 sack. Interceptions, we got 2 for Sherman and then a bunch of 1 bombs. So we really struggled on all facets of our team, to be honest. Everybody had a hand in not doing well. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully I have enough money to make some free agency signings because we're going to need some. We probably picked decently high if I'm thinking here. Let's go ahead and check out our pick. We should pick real high. I mean, really high. We picked 6? What? How do we pick 6? We're 5 and 11. If there's a good pass rusher, I might trade up for. I'll see, though. But I'll check back with you guys here in free agency. So we're going to be here in free agency. Definitely don't have a lot of money, but, oh man, there's a lot of people I'd love to went after. But I'm only going to be offering 1 contract, and I'm going to offer it to J.J. Watt. If we're able to land him, it's going to change everything. It would give us the pass rusher we need. We'd finally have a fearsome defensive line with Buckner, Armstead, Solomon Thomas coming up, and now J.J. Watt. We'll see if he accepts it. If he don't, dude, I offered him so much more. Freaking Madden's broken if he doesn't accept this. And he accepts it, so we get J.J. Watt. And that's really what we needed to make a push here in year 5 to the playoffs. And we picked decently high, so we might be able to draft somebody here that can help us out. So doing a draft recap here for the last draft of this rebuild. I did get a guard with my top pick. I wanted a corner, but someone snagged him right before I got him. So this left guard is going to be nasty. Superstar development, 79 overall, definitely an upgrade. Real great strength, good everything. Awareness can use some upgrades, but that superstar development should make him a real nasty guard there and should hopefully, you know, make my offensive line hold up because for some reason the last few years they've just been getting demolished. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the year 5 team. So we're here in year 5. We know what time that is. It is Super Bowl or bust. So let's go ahead and set our season goal just to start it off. I mean, our team is pretty nice. I'll show you some changes I did make, though. Our offensive line as a whole, though, is really good. I mean, I don't understand how some people are allowing 17 sacks per person, but offensive line's nice. We still have George Kittle, 95 overall. Garoppolo's an 85 overall. He's got good accuracies. We got Matt Breida, nearly a 90 overall running back. Our receiving core is just really good. I mean, we have AB, we got Dante Pettis, and Zay Jones. And I'll show you what I did. I made AB my slot guy because I think he's going to get more targets, and I definitely want to get the ball into the hands of AB. So he's going to be my slot guy. So when he bounces into the slot, that means Dante Pettis is going to be my number 1 receiver. So should get him some more targets as well. Defensively, we finally got a defensive line that can just get after you. I mean, we got J.J. Watt. Eric Armstead had a decent year last year. DeForest Buckner's been great all rebuild. Solomon Thomas finally did something last year. Cornerbacks are worrying, though. They're starting to regress, but I still have confidence that Sherman can play at a high level here for 1 more year. Trevor Williams hasn't upgraded well, which is a little tough. And then Taylor's a 79 overall. Safeties are starting to regress. Well, Tardis, he's an 84 overall now. Jameson, though, up to an 83 overall. And then linebacking core is still the same. Fred Warner is just a monster, 94 overall. They're still upgrading, which is good. So, I mean, that's going to be it. That's what our team's looking like. It's our last chance to make the playoffs and make a run for it. So I'm not going to be checking back here at midseason. We're just going to go straight to the end of the year. See if we're in the playoffs. Let's see. All right, just simulating the last few weeks here. We'll see what happens. Dude, if we're not in the playoffs, it's going to be really tough. How? How do we make the playoffs, man? Now that's some... Oh, how do we finish 6-9, bro? Madden's freaking broke. What is happening? How do I make the playoffs in year 2? And then every time since then, I just have a crap record. Now, I mean, I've had some bad rebuilds, but this was not one of them. I actually thought I did decent this rebuild. Look at my offensive line. My offensive line is never this good. I mean, our receiving core is nasty. We had a decent defense, so I'm not sure what the problem was there. Was it Garoppolo? Did he not have a decent year? I mean, he had a decent year. We're 12th in offensive yards. We are dead last in defensive yards, I believe. Okay. What a way to go out there, man. Garoppolo actually had a decent year. Oh, that's disappointing. AB finally had he had a real decent year. Dante Pettis stepped up. Zay Jones even stepped up. Our offense was doing things out here. Still allowing 13 sacks a tackle, which isn't what you want to see. What did our defense do then? Did J.J. Watt do anything? Came in and got 8 sacks. Buckner was up. I mean, we got after the quarterback. Not a lot of interceptions, though. I don't know. That was just a weird rebuild from the beginning. I mean, we make the playoffs year 2, and then not much goes our way after. Let me know what you guys thought about the rebuild. I don't know. That was definitely a tough one. I thought we should have at least made the playoffs those years after year 2. But either way, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that sub button. And if you're new to the channel, we do a lot of Madden content over here. Just sports in general. I talk about the NFL and things like that in some videos. So if you're interested in that, make sure you also hit that sub button. It would be greatly appreciated. And make sure you leave a suggestion of who you want to see next. And I'll see you guys next rebuild. Peace out.